Hey everybody, what's up? It's Movie Buff Beth and I'm back again with another video. As you can see behind me, I'm sitting in front of the Criterion collection, and today I'm going to show you my Criterion flash sale pickups. I will admit, in the past I have not taken advantage of these flash sales as often as I should. These are the sales that take place directly through Criterion on their website. But in the past I've bought so much at the Barnes & Noble sales that I've kind of just not paid attention to these sales, to be honest. And I think part of it is they only happen for 24 hours. They kind of come without warning, and I'm not always super prepared for them like I am for the Barnes & Noble sales. But either way, this time I was ready and I was able to get some awesome pickups, and I'm really excited to share them with you guys. First of all, I will say I got 10 individual releases as well as one box set in this sale. It's a pretty sizable haul for a flash sale, and I'm again very excited to show you guys what I got. All of them upon purchase were blind buys, but I did watch 2 of them this morning in preparation for this video, just so that I'd have a little bit of substance to say about these titles. So we'll go ahead and dive right in. The first 2 titles up are actually brand new releases from Criterion. They came out last Tuesday, and they are both directed by the same person. His name, I'm going to say it wrong, I always do, is Ramin Bahrani. Hopefully that's somewhat correct. Not a director I was super familiar with before these came out, but since then I've been looking at his filmography and have discovered quite a bit more about him. But before I get into that, I'll go ahead and show you what I picked up. First one is Man Push Cart from 2005, and from 2007, Chop Shop. Again, these are both brand new releases from Criterion, both by the same director. And I actually knew next to nothing about either of these films before they came out on Criterion, but I was happy to pick them up just so that I could check them out. And again, I watched both of these this morning, starting with Man Push Cart. Again, this came out in 2005. Both of these films are basically slice of life films that take place in New York City. You're really, in both of these, you're really just a fly on the wall watching our characters. It almost at times looks like guerrilla filmmaking, like they just went down to the street and threw their characters in and just started filming. And that was really cool. It felt very genuine and authentic in that way. Of the 2, I'd probably say I liked Man Push Cart a little bit more. However, I enjoyed both of them quite a lot. I'd give both of them probably a 4.5 out of 5. But yeah, this is the debut feature from this director, which is really impressive because he was able to put together quite a film. And again, if you enjoy these slice of life films, I can't see why you wouldn't enjoy this one. You have a great performance from your lead character, as well as many of the supporting characters are all really well done, and you really just feel for your main character in this movie. This film follows Ahmad, who is from Pakistan, who in Pakistan is basically a rock star, but when he came to America, he ended up getting one of these push carts and selling coffee on the side of the street, and kind of just working all of these odd jobs to make money. And it's kind of just his struggle in acclimating to this new cultural environment, and you know, finding ways to make money and finding ways to find meaning in life. And again, it's a very quiet film. Not a lot happens, and there's not even really much of a resolve in the end. Same with Chop Shop. And I know that might bother some people, but for me, I just really enjoy these types of films where you're just with your characters. You get to walk, you know, at least a mile in their shoes and just see what their life experience might be like. And I thoroughly enjoyed this one. And again, I watched 2007's Chop Shop next. This is very similar to the first film in the fact that it is a slice of life film. Again, you just feel like you're a fly on the wall. This one follows a young orphan and his 16-year-old sister, and them kind of going through life and trying to find ways to make money and to basically survive. And it's a pretty tragic story, you know, not a very exciting and happy life, but you do see that there are many small moments in both of these characters' lives where they're finding joy even in the bleakest of situations, which I really liked. One thing that I thought of when I was watching this film is it had a very similar feel to the likes of The Florida Project, where you're watching, you know, very young children have to experience very adult experiences and situations, and they're faced with that far too early in life. Similar to the Florida Project, these kids are basically on their own, kind of going out and getting into shenanigans and doing things that they probably shouldn't be doing, but you can kind of understand why they're doing them. And yeah, I just really enjoyed this film as well. I enjoyed both of them quite a bit, and upon watching these, I looked up the director's other films in his filmography, and was surprised to see that not only do I have a few of them in my collection, but I've actually seen and really enjoyed another one of his films. So I'll go ahead and show you which film I'm talking about real quick, and that is 99 Homes. I feel like this is a movie that is not talked about very much. It stars Andrew Garfield, Michael Shannon, and Laura Dern, all who are very, very good actors. And this is another slice of life type film that's not necessarily about the happiest of experiences, but really does give you a glimpse into someone else's life, which I really enjoy. And like I said, I also own a few of his other films, so I'm definitely gonna have to sit down and watch those. And he actually has a fairly recent release that came out on Netflix. It's called The White Tiger. So I have every intention of sitting down and watching several of his other films now. Really enjoyed both Man Push Car and Chop Shop. Would definitely recommend them to you guys if you're looking for something to pick up in the next sale. Again, they just came out last week, so really cool additions to the collection, and so far I'm really happy with my flash sale pickups. I'm going to try to remember to do this for each title, but real quick, the spine numbers on these films, you got 1066 and 1067 for those two. Right, the next pickup, this is another brand new release. It came out last week as well, and it is spine number 1068. Don't know too much about this film, but it definitely looks right up my alley, and it's from 1985, directed by Joyce Chopra, and that is Smooth Talk. Again, this is a film I don't know too much about, but I have seen around before. I think it has another Blu-ray release available, maybe not in the US, but somewhere, or you know, a DVD that's been floating around a lot or something, because the artwork does look familiar to me. Of course, we have Laura Dern, who I really like I just mentioned when I was talking about 99 Homes. I really like Laura Dern. I think that she's a fantastic actress, and this just screams 1980s to me. It looks really interesting for that reason alone, and sometimes I honestly do like to just go into films blind and not know too much about them, because it sometimes elevates my experience. As with the last two films I talked about, I knew next to nothing about Chop Shop and Man Push Cart, and came out and really enjoyed them, so probably will do that in a similar way, and not know too much about this film before I watch it. But yeah, again, it's from 1985, stars Laura Dern. Don't see where you can really go wrong there. If you guys have seen any of these, please let me know your thoughts in the comments. I would love to hear them. But this is probably the one I will watch next, so Smooth Talk. Kind of a theme of this Criterion haul is great directors. There's at least 3 great directors that I can think of in this haul that I picked up these films based solely upon the fact that they are directed by a certain person. And this next one I've been wanting to add to the collection for quite some time, and for one reason or another I just have not picked it up yet. Let's see, spine number 34, pretty low spine number on this one, and again, it's just one that I keep passing up in the Barnes & Noble sales, and I finally picked it up, and that is Andrei Rublev. Probably pronouncing that wrong, but what else is new? Of course, this is an Andrei Tarkovsky film. I've only seen one of his other films, which is Solaris, and I really enjoyed it. I have every intention of watching Stalker pretty soon as well, but I've heard so many good things about this film, so definitely one I'm going to sit down and watch at some point. Again, it's one I keep passing up, you know, probably because it's a $50 MSRP release, and so it's $25 instead of $20. I know that's a really silly reason to keep passing up on a release, but I did finally add this to the collection, and I'm really excited to check it out at some point. This one is 183 minutes, so it's a pretty lengthy watch, so I'll definitely have to set some time aside to watch this one, but hopefully very soon I will make time for this one. And going along with that theme of great directors, this next one is spine number 721, and that is Love Streams. This of course stars Gina Rowlands and John Cassavetes himself, and this is directed by John Cassavetes. I will admit I have not dove into the filmography of Cassavetes quite yet, but I was reading the synopsis of this one and it just sounded really interesting to me, so I didn't want to pass this one up because I have every intention of watching some of the films in the Cassavetes set that I have behind me pretty soon, probably going to start with Women Under the Influence, but I am excited to add this to the collection and check this one out at some point as well. 1984 film, looks to be really good, right up my alley, so definitely looking forward to this one. The next two are by one of my favorite directors. I haven't seen a lot of his films yet, but all of the ones that I've seen by him so far I've really enjoyed. And then upon reading the synopses of his films, they all sound really interesting to me. And I just don't think you can go wrong with him, and that's Robert Altman. So the next one is Spine number 827, and that is McCabe and Mrs. Miller. This is one I've had my eye on for quite a while in the sales, and I'm just getting around to picking it up. It stars Warren Beatty and Julie Christie. It is a Western, which is not always my favorite genre, but I definitely need to become more educated in the Western genre, and this definitely looks like a good introduction for me because I really like Robert Altman's films. The Player is one of my favorite films of all time. And yeah, I'm just really looking forward to watching this one, and I'm glad I decided to pick it up in this sale. And while I've been wanting to pick up McCabe and Mrs. Miller for a long time, this one I believe has been on my Criterion wish list since I began collecting Criterions, and for some reason every time I go to pick it up it's like out of stock or I can't find it. You know, just various factors have led to me not picking this one up, and that's Spine number 683 in Nashville. And this is one that Andrew has really wanted to pick up as well, so I wanted to be sure to pick this one up in this Criterion sale. In fact, this is the first thing that I put in my cart because I wanted to ensure that I got this one, and I'm really happy to finally add it to the collection. Very early on in our film journey, if you will, Andrew and I got really into collecting films from the American Film Institute Top 100, the AFI Top 100, and this is a film that just kept escaping us and we couldn't find it, and now we have finally added it to the collection, so I'm really excited about that. Another pretty lengthy film here, 160 minutes, but I think that it will be a good watch. The synopsis sounds great, and this is one that I can sit down and watch with Andrew as well, which is always fun. So very excited to add Nashville to the collection finally. This next one is kind of a random pickup. It's not one that I had on my radar for very long, but my friend on Instagram, Chris of Death, shout out to her. She's been watching a ton of Criterions lately and has turned me on to a few titles that I otherwise had not heard of or really had on my radar, and this is one of them, and it is Spine number 59, and that is The Night Porter. Again, don't know too much about this one, but she gave it a pretty high rating from what I remember, and I do trust her opinion on films, but also it just looked intriguing, and so I'm probably just gonna go into this one somewhat blind and see what it's all about. But always happy to add kind of a more random eclectic title to the collection, and I was happy to add this one this time, and that is The Night Porter. Now, like I've said in a few of our recent videos, one of my big goals for the year of 2021 is to watch more foreign films, and you know, in doing so I've sat down and looked at a lot of foreign film lists and kind of scoured the internet looking for what are some of the best foreign language films available, or you know, absolute must-see foreign films, and this film has shown up on several of the lists that I have seen. And when I saw that Criterion had released this one, I was really excited and immediately put it on my list to pick up in the next sale, and it is Spine number 958, and it is called 4 months, 3 weeks, and 2 days. This is actually a Romanian film from 2007, so fairly recent, but again, I saw it on so many of those best of lists that it just really intrigued me. Heard it's kind of a difficult watch, but I am looking forward to it, and it definitely looks like an interesting film and one to add to my foreign film watch list for 2021. Again, if you guys have seen any of these, please let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are on them. I would love to hear it. Let me know where I should go next in my watches for sure. And another one that I picked up partially based on the director because I've heard so much about this director, but also partially because recently I read Like Brothers by Mark and J. Duplass, and within the chapters they compiled a list of their 10 favorite films of all time. And you know, they're two of my favorite filmmakers, so obviously I really trust their opinion, and this movie was on there, and I had remembered the director and the fact that Criterion released it, so I knew I wanted to pick it up in the next sale. And it is spine number 519, and that is Close Up. This is directed by Abbas Kiarostami. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly, but he's a director that I've heard a lot about, and I've been very interested in getting into his filmography a bit more. This is from 1990. It is in Persian with English subtitles, so a Persian film to add to the collection. But I've heard a lot about this film over the years, so really looking forward to checking this one out. So those are all of the individual releases that I picked up, and I picked up one box set, which is super awesome. This box set features 6 films. So 6 more films to add to the collection, and it spans over spine numbers 685 to 690, and that is the Martin Scorsese World Cinema Project. I was very excited to add this to the collection. I knew that this was a huge blind spot in the Criterion collection. He has now released 3 of these World Cinema Project box sets, so it was about time that I picked it up. And so I figured, why not start with the first box set, although I will say that this film, The Housemaid from 1960, has been on my watch list for quite some time. It just sounds really interesting to me, so this one was kind of a no-brainer. And then also in my quest to watch more foreign films, I've been asking for a lot of recommendations, and I do remember someone recommended this film from Turkey called Dry Summer to me, and they said it's available in the Martin Scorsese World Cinema Project. So that kind of stuck in my brain, and so I decided to pick this up, and I'm very excited to dive into this box set. It has a lot of films from different countries and will really help me in my journey to watch more foreign films. Real quickly, I'll read off the titles. You have from Senegal, Tuki Buki, and then you have Redes from Mexico, A River Called Titus from India/Bangladesh, Dry Summer from Turkey, Trances from Morocco, and The Housemaid from South Korea. And yeah, South Korean films, I really love South Korean films, so The Housemaid will probably be the first one that I watch out of this set, but very excited to add another box set to the Criterion collection. So that is everything that I picked up in the Criterion flash sale. Again, let me know what you thought of my pickups. Is there anything that I need to prioritize more than some of the others that I've said? Please let me know. What did you guys pick up? I'd love to hear what you guys grabbed, or if you did a haul video, I'd love to go check that out as well. And before I let you go, I wanted to make mention that I am participating in a Criterion challenge for 2021 on Letterboxd. I will try to remember to link the person that kind of came up with this challenge in the description. I did not come up with this. I'm not claiming to have come up with this. It was an awesome Letterboxd user that came up with all of these cool categories. There are 52 categories, so kind of supposed to be like a film per week. Obviously I'm starting in March, so I'm going to be a little behind, but I'll probably watch, you know, a few films per week. I'm hoping to kind of knock it out in the next month or two, honestly. We'll see how that goes. I've already watched one film yesterday. I'm hoping to watch my second film today. So if you guys want to follow along, you know, go to my Letterboxd and look for Criterion Challenge 2021. And if you guys want to participate, it would be awesome to have some people to chat with along the way. My friend Chris of Death is participating in this as well, which is awesome. But yeah, I watched my first film yesterday. There are different categories for each week, you know, the 52 categories. I did change out a couple of the categories kind of to tailor it to my collection so I could watch things that are in my collection, because some of them were like watch titles on the Criterion channel, which I don't have because I have so many Criterions I haven't watched that I haven't subscribed to the Criterion channel. But you know, there was just a few things that I changed out, and you can see all of the categories listed in the description of the list on Letterboxd. So yeah, I will link my Letterboxd below as always. Make sure you follow me on there and you can see everything that I'm watching, not just Criterions. I log literally everything I watch, so if you guys want to keep up with my ratings and stuff. I don't write reviews too often, but I do write an occasional review on there if you guys want to see that as well. So yeah, Criterion challenge. Definitely follow along and join me in this journey if you guys feel like it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like this video and subscribe if you enjoyed. Hit the bell to get notifications when we upload new videos. Obviously, we've been keeping up with content quite a bit more than we have in months past, so definitely keep an eye out for new videos. And thanks for your support as always. We really do appreciate you guys, and we will see you on the next one.